these flyers that we got going around. We got so many unions endorse Jeff Klein. We got neighborhood community organizations that have endorsed Jeff Klein. We got numerous elected officials, including Governor Cuomo and Mayor de Blasio, and the Bronx Borough President supports Jeff Klein. Put your hands together. What's going on right now? Fernando Ferrer, the former Bronx Borough President. Michael Benedetto, our local assemblyman, supports Jeff Klein. Vanessa Gibson, former Councilwoman Judith Iceland supports Jeff Klein. Pelham Democrats are in the house. Are the Pelham Democrats in the house? On Tuesday, what are we going to do? Get out the vote. Tuesday, what are we going to do?
Get out the vote.
What are we going to do?
Get out the vote.
For who?
Jeff Klein.
For who?
Jeff Klein.
Tuesday, what are we going to do?
Get out the vote.
For who?
Jeff Klein.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I want to call up a couple of elected officials that want to give you a couple of remarks about why they're supporting Jeff Klein. I'd like to start off with one of my good friends that I started in the Bronx Young Democrats, Luis Sepulveda. Put your hands together for Luis Sepulveda. And Luis is going to take it from there. He'll introduce the next speaker.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Are we fired up?
Yes.
Are we ready to go?
Yes.
Are we going to win with 90% of the vote?
Yes.
That's what I want to hear. I love the enthusiasm. And to let you in on a little secret. Today, Jeff got the endorsement of the only newspaper that really matters in the city of New York. And that's the Daily News. That's a newspaper worth reading. You know, if you look at Jeff's history, look what he's done in the community. You see, Jeff has gotten the endorsement of every single assemblyman in his district.
Woo!
I can't think of any other state senate candidate that has that in the entire state of New York. That's big news, because all of us recognize the great work that he's done. And all of us know that we have to do our best to make sure that he gets reelected. I've worked with Jeff now for 2 years, even though I know him for over 20 years. And I've seen him. I've seen the growth. I've seen what he's done, the wonderful work that he's done, the wonderful work he's doing as the leader of the Senate. You know, he was the author of the SAFE Act, one of the strictest gun control laws in the entire country. Jeff worked hand in hand with the mayor of New York and made sure that we got over $300 million for universal pre-K. That's not all he's done this year. You look how he worked to expand the street program for seniors, and you look at the wonderful work that he's done for seniors in the entire state of New York. Jeff has also created a program to help decrease the unemployment rate in the Bronx through his Hire New York program, something that we attended a couple of days ago. We had over 250 people come with resumes trying to get jobs. This is what Jeff is about. This is the work that he does for the Bronx and the state of New York. Also, I had in my district, and Jeff doesn't represent this portion of my district, we had a 3-year-old child who was shot by a stray bullet with senseless violence that permeates part of our community. And I asked Jeff to help me. The parents, the grandparents of the child asked Jeff to help. And Jeff took the lead on it. And he helped us draft a bill that would increase the penalties for people who discharge their weapons near playgrounds, near schools. That is what Jeff is about. Now, I've been asked to say something in Spanish. Bienvenidos. Sí se puede. Sí se puede. Sí se puede. Sí se puede. Sabemos la obra que ha hecho Jeff Klein en el Senado como líder del Senado. Jeff ha hecho mucho para ayudar a nuestros ancianos a proteger a nuestros niños sobre el crimen, asegurar que nuestros ancianos puedan pagar su renta, a expandir la educación para nuestros niños, para nuestros adultos y para crear programas que protegen a nuestra comunidad. Y por eso That's right, give him a big hand for that. Y por eso me da orgullo para endorsar y asegurar que Klein sea elegido como el senador de esta comunidad, como el senador que cubre parte del distrito de la Asamblea. Así que vamos a hacer todo lo posible para asegurar que Jeff gane, que no solamente gane, pero que reciba por lo menos un 90% del voto en estas elecciones. Now I have some colleagues here that would also like to speak, and I have been given the responsibility of introducing the next Assemblyman, who is also supporting Jeff, my good friend, my colleague, and my twin brother, Assemblyman Marcos Crespo.
Are you excited about this election, yes or no?
Yes!
Are you ready to elect Jeff Klein, yes or no?
Yes!
Are you ready to win, yes or no?
Yes!
Well, let me tell you, Assemblyman Sepulveda did a fantastic job outlining the many legislative accomplishments, political accomplishments of our great state Senator Jeff Klein. Give it up once again. Now, one of the things that, whether you live in the north part of the district out in Westchester County, whether you live in Riverdale, Morris Park, Throsneck, Soundview, or Hunts Point, or anywhere in between, the reality is that look around this room right now. I want everybody to just take a look around you. Look at the diversity of the people that are in this backyard right now. Look at the cultural diversity, ethnic diversity, religious diversity. The fact of the matter is that Senator Klein doesn't just rest on his own laurels, doesn't just send out people to tell the world all the great things that he's done. The fact is that he doesn't just say, you know what, I have every elected official endorsing me, they'll go out and campaign and do the work, I'm going to win this is going to be easy. He hasn't done that, ladies and gentlemen. What this man has done is put together a campaign that brings every corner of the 34th Senatorial District together, and he's gone out and reached out to 4,000 plus prime voters and personally knocked on their door and said, I'm Jeff Klein. I'm not just here to tell you that I deserve your support. I'm going to ask you to please support the campaign. That, ladies and gentlemen, as the poster says, read it with me, is a senator you can count on. When people talk about elected officials, what do they say? They don't care. They only come around on election day. I never see them in the neighborhood. They don't do this and that. They don't do anything for our seniors, for our kids. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here and I'm glad to see so many of you who do pay attention, who do know of the work of the great state senator, who understand that this election is not just about winning. This election is about winning big. This election is about sending a message that we're sick and tired of those that only want to come and further divide our community. That we're sick and tired of those that want to talk about what couldn't get done instead of talking about what got done. Ladies and gentlemen, say it with me. Senator Jeff Klein is a senator we can count on. And if we can count on him, then he needs to count on us. So on Tuesday, September 9th, come out, bring your friends, bring your family, bring your neighbors. Let's send a message that this man deserves our support. What are we going to do? Win. What are we going to do?
Win.
What are we going to do?
Win.
Thank you. Now, I never even said who I was. I know Louis said I'm a 7-member Marcos Crespo. I represent the 85th district. And if you know, there's 2 marks in this community who are making a mark. I know I'm one of them, but I'm going to introduce to you one of the most dynamic elected officials. And I say that because this man hit the ground running. This isn't about him. This isn't about just the fact that he's the first of his community to get elected to office. This man has been about everyone and about helping and getting the job done. Ladies and gentlemen, the other great Mark in the Bronx, Assemblyman Mark Jonah. My wife when you need her. She could only hear that, huh? Let's give a great hand of applause to my colleague, Marcos Crespo. And you're the Mark.
Are we excited?
Yes.
Why are we excited? Because we're backing the right person.
Yes.
Our state senator doesn't just deserve our support and our vote, he's earned it. He's proved himself over the last 30 years that he's put your interest first. I know this man. You know this man. He is not new to this community or to our legislative body. This man wakes up each and every morning and thinks about the needs of you, your families, our children, the elderly. He puts your interests first. I know why I'm here. You know why you're here. Who's our senator? Jeff Klein. Who's our senator?
Jeff Klein.
Who's our senator?
Jeff Klein.
Who's our senator?
Jeff Klein.
And this is the man that's going to win it on Tuesday big because of you and because of your support, what he's done for each and every one of us. He's lived in this community his whole life. He prides himself on living in the borough of the Bronx at a time when the borough of the Bronx is in such a fashionable place to live. He says it with dignity, with pride. He knows where he's come from. He's lived within 4 square blocks his whole life. A block, a community where his parents lived and his grandparents have lived. He knows our needs. He sees your needs. He hears your needs. And he's the one man that we can count on in Albany. Do you realize that this is the most powerful man in the borough of the Bronx when it comes to the state of New York in Albany? This man is responsible to bring in all the resources that our community needs and our borough desperately needs. Why would we not embrace him? Why would you want someone else?
We don't.
This is someone that works for you, can bring the resources that you need, and be the senator that this great borough needs. My friend, your friend, my uncle, our state senator, Jeff Klein.
Thank you, everybody. It's truly a pleasure to be here, and certainly I want to thank my colleagues in government. I think what makes the 34th Senate District such a great district is that throughout all the communities that make up this wonderful district, we have great assembly members, we have great council members, people who work as a team hand in hand with a very simple truth. We want to make sure that the people that we represent get the best public servants that anyone could possibly think of. And I want to thank each and every one of you. First of all, Marcos Crispo, someone that we knocked doors together in the Soundview community. We reached out, did so much together on issues like cyberbullying, making sure we helped out our tenants in public housing and Sackbourne houses. So let's give Marcos Crispo a tremendous round of applause. Luis Sepulveda, who together we walked Castle Hill community together, did so many things. You know, Luis is somebody, even though he's only been elected to office quite a short time, he's been a dynamic public servant in our community for a long time. Free legal assistance, making sure his community is protected. Let's give a big hand for Assembly Member Luis Sepulveda, everyone. One of the proudest moments I had is, most of you may know, I represented the 80th Assembly District, the community where I was born and raised for 10 years. And when I was at the swearing in of Assembly Member Mark Jonai, the first Albanian American ever to get elected to any legislative body in the United States, that made me proud. It should make you proud, because he's doing us proud. And all of you, you know, when I look around this room, these are not only people who are political friends, these are family. You are the people who brought me to this place. You are the people who would rely on me to get the job done. And that's why each and every day I work my heart out, because the one thing I would never want to do is let any of you down, and I swear I never will. When this campaign started, it started, unfortunately, on a very negative note. My opponent, even though he was in public service in various offices, most of them he lost and then got elected to something else, he decided to take a very negative tone. Instead of talking about some of the things he may have accomplished in a 40-year career, he decided he was going to go on the attack. Because he figured out the only way he was going to win is to fool the voters. Create a Jeff Klein that nobody ever knew. A Jeff Klein that doesn't care out of the community. A Jeff Klein that decided that it was better to stay within a corrupt legislative body, which people call the most dysfunctional in the country, and just look away. But you know something? I couldn't do that. I believe in government, and most importantly, I believe in you. And when I get up every morning, even when I go to Albany or here in the Bronx, the community always comes first, and you can count on that.
Yeah, Jeff!
But I think over the last few months, I think what grounded me, what lifted me up every day, is really going out there, talking to my constituents. As of this day, I've knocked on over 4,000 doors. Met a lot of different people around this district. And you know why? Because that's the kind of representation that the 34th Senate District deserves. They deserve a hands-on legislator. They deserve someone who understands this community, because I come from this community. I was just talking to Luis, and he found it a little boring. But if you stand at this spot, I lived in a building right maybe 50 feet away for 10 years when I graduated from college. I grew up in a home 4 blocks away that way, and now I live less than a half a block that way. So this is my community, and I'm very proud of it. And the reason why I'm proud of it is because I grew up in this community with my parents and with my grandparents. And they taught me very important lessons. They taught me about right and wrong, but more importantly, they taught me about community. And I remember when I was sworn into the assembly, how proud my grandparents and parents were, because this was a dream. They were immigrants. They can only dream that one of their grandsons would actually have the privilege and the honor of representing the community that we've lived in our whole life in a state legislature. And I never forget that. But you know, I think we talked about a lot of my accomplishments, which I'm very, very proud of. Passed the most comprehensive gun law in the nation to save that. But you know something? When we met, myself and Luis Sepulveda, with Luisito's grandma, and we talked to them what we're doing about gun violence, you can see in their eyes that it mattered to them. You know, when I reduced the effort and joined the effort with Mayor de Blasio to make sure that we had $300 million to ensure that 54,000 4-year-olds started yesterday universal free pay. That's something new. And you know, when I went out and I visited some of these schools yesterday, and I looked at the parents, how excited that they were, that there now was available free, full-time universal pre-K. You know something? That's what it's all about. You know, when I looked at the eyes of a senior citizen in a center that I visited, and they now qualify for the EPIC program, a prescription drug program, because their income level previously was too high. And now that individual no longer has to pay a $120 copay on prescription drugs that she had to take once a month, every month, and now it's only $12. That's what it's all about. You know, talking to people and realizing that we're all in this together. You know, this is a very, very diverse community, and I think that's what makes it great. You know, from Frogs Neck houses to Riverdale, to Westchester County, and everything in between. And I think what holds this community together is that it is a district made up of communities. And that's what the Bronx is all about. Everyone takes pride in the individual community where they live, where they raise their family, or where they decide to retire in. And you know something? That's what it's really all about. So I know each and every one of you have worked so hard. My staff has worked incredibly hard. But you know something? You know, it's all over Tuesday, September 9th. So this is it. This is our opportunity now to sort of take it home. Take the message home. All the mailings that we send, the radio, the TV commercials, don't mean as much as the people that I'm looking at right now. Because each and every one of you now becomes the ambassador of the 34th Senate District. The people who now have to go out there and convince the others what you all know, that we're going to continue to fight together. We're going to make sure that the 34th Senate District remains our Senate District, so we can do great things in the future. We can fight for our families and make sure that you have a senator that each and every day is going to work his heart out for everyone in the 34th Senate District. Thank you all, and God bless.
Stay excited! We want it in the picture! Hold the signs up!
Wait.